Bill Russell died. And never say that I was a huge Bill Russell acolyte, but the older you get, the smarter you get, the wiser you get, the more you realize what people have gone through. Bill Russell's story is a story of every black person who believes in working hard and being left a damn alone. But the world and racism in America won't let them do that. To paraphrase Aaron Magruder, Bill Russell had a right to be hostile. After all, he saw that he wasn't just in a city of ingrates and bigots, but he said that America on a whole was, quote, corrupt with its disdain for black people. He even had the hostility marked on his FBI file, and it coined him as an arrogant Negro who would not sign autographs for white children. That's a direct quote. Now, with all due respect, fuck them kids. And Russell's life is a metaphor for blacks in America. Fight for this country, work for this country. Hasn't had a major uprising or violent event, even though we have a good reason. And yet he got all the vitriol, the venom. That's why he carried a piece on him. That's why he got arrested at an airport. It's a brutal tribute, but too often tributes gloss over the viscosity of sheer racial hatred that our icons endured. And before we can indulge a bunch of angel faces on TV chatting happy chatter, know that this black man, Bill Russell, the proud grandson of a freeborn man named Jake Russell, who himself stood up to and defied the Ku Klux Klan and survived and lived to tell about it because he was opening up a school for young kids. Bill Russell wasn't about that happy white folk talk. He was mad. He was gruff. He was scholastic. He was righteous. He was a man in full. He was justified. And he was a champion. He was the greatest champion in all of sports. A great man died the other day. May Bill Russell rest in peace, and may his memory be a blessing. Now, let's start the show. The Shawn Show is brought to you by BodyButterBakery.com. Visit www.bodybutterbakery.com for beard and body oils, hydrating shower gels, nourishing body scrubs with popular scents like strawberry lemonade, mango and pineapple, and champagne apple and honey. Yep, all that and more at BodyButterBakery.com, a proud sponsor of The Shawn Show. And yes, it is The Shawn Show. I'm your host, Jay Shawn Durham. I feel a little alone tonight. I don't know why. There's a lot going on behind the scenes. Y'all don't know about it, but it's all good. Tonight, I have a very special guest tonight, Kojo Darkwa Ampadu. And he is also known to many circles as Little Black Book. And he's brilliant. He's really in depth with his interviews, and he's a cat who, you know, he's very unassuming. You don't know like where he's gonna be, what's his angle, and he sneaks up on you and he breaks down situations, and so that is the really cool thing about him being on the show. Plus, he loves reality TV. I'm not that big of a reality TV person, but I was on a reality TV show. With the new season of Radio Love popping up that started this Friday, last Friday, Radio Love Miami decided to have Kojo on. So we're gonna get Kojo up and talking to us in about 5 to 10 minutes, actually. But first, what we usually have here, we have a couple of segments here before we bring on our guests. But I don't have my sponsor. That's the Kim, who's with Body Butter Bakery. But Kim wanted me to tell y'all that she does have a deal for y'all. See that? If you get on bodybutterbakery.com, you can save 30% tonight using the code Shawn. 30% right now on bodybutterbakery.com for anything on our products for bulk orders. Okay? 30% off right now using the code Shawn for Body Butter Bakery. We'll just keep that scrolling throughout the night. Now, if some of you are watching, I'm simulcasting right now. Hey, how y'all doing on IG? Yeah, you can't see the show unless you come over to YouTube because it's the Shawn Show on YouTube. Therefore, we'll have our guests and things on the YouTube channel. So just go to youtube.com/JShawnDurham and follow me there and find the link to the show. We're up live right now and we're rocking it. And it's still daylight. We're starting a little early tonight because Kojo hails from the UK. The UK, mate. And so because it's the UK, I thought I'd give him a chance to at least be a little fresh-eyed, although he seems to never sleep. But we're going to do the show midnight his time and 7:20 here. That's why we're a little bit early here on the Shawn Show. I got some people joining us later tonight. We got Shade NThe City. They also do their reviews and their takes. They're going to be joining us in the second hour. And I might have a few other surprises for you as well. What y'all think of the show? Who saw Ready to Love? Did you see the Ready to Love show? This new cast? Some of y'all are Ready to Love fans. What'd you think of it? Did you think that they were overdoing things? Do you think they got the mix right this time? Tell me your thoughts. We'll take a couple of questions before we bring up our guests, or we'll wait for Kojo to slide in to the conversation. But here's the first look of Ready to Love. As soon as I pop it up.
She's ready.
Ladies.
He's ready.
It's getting hot in here.
Are you ready?
Oh, yeah.
Ready to Love is back and coming in hot from Miami.
So ready to love.
Come on, Miami.
Adonis is here for love.
I was like honey and it was bees around.
If you've been kissing, raise your hand.
Ready to Love, new season, Friday, July 29th at 8/7 Central. There are more.
Yeah, so that's the new crew. That's the new cast for Ready to Love. What you think? Miami. I mean, they sexy as hell. They got all the shades there. You know, my impression of Miami when I first got to Miami was, not first got to Miami. I've been going to Miami a lot. There's a lot of you have. But now that I'm older, and the last time I've been to Miami was during my birthday. That was in December, and I'm 45 years of age. And South Beach doesn't do it like it used to, right? It's like, not for me. Maybe for y'all. Maybe y'all like hanging out at the Fontainebleau or whatever, or dealing with all the kids who are doing all sorts of stuff. But it's different. I feel like it's different now. Or maybe I'm just too old. You know, you get too old, and all of a sudden things don't seem to be the same anymore. I was wondering, like, when they said they were moving the show to South Beach, what are they going to do with the black folks there? What the black folks going to be doing? it was a struggle for me to find progressive black folks in the city proper. But when they do these shows, and this is from experience, when they did Ray to Love DC, they were oftentimes not even in the DC area, which we call the DMV, DC, Maryland, and Virginia. They were often not even in the metropolitan area. They were an hour and a half away, and they would just call it DC. In fact, some of the castmates weren't even close to the DC area. They were way outside of that 202 area code. So what are we talking about here? Is it probably going to be Ray to Love Clearwater, Ray to Love Tampa? I don't think it'd be all that, but it would be, I got a feeling, a stretch. It won't just be in Miami proper, but we'll see. Very pretty cast. The women are very pretty. And the men, I actually got to say that I was actually surprised just by looking at some of the fellas. That's why you look at some of the pictures. It was like, all right, these cats look like they could be, some jokers, But I think that they actually got it right. I think they got it good. So that's where we are. Hi, everybody on IG. We're just waiting for Kojo to pop up in here. And we'll get started because I wanted to get started with him immediately. For those of you who like talking to my other guests and friends, it's summertime, so some people have other things to do. Dr. Ira is hanging with his family, so we won't have Ira Splana-ish. Tyrone scheduled to be here, but I think he has something else that popped up. And Kim is unavailable. She's from the Body Butter Bakery. So with that said, it's just me tonight. And also later tonight, after we talk about all the Ready to Love jazz, we're going to get into Will Smith's apology, because something really bothered me about the apology. And it's like, why is the brother wearing a hat? Why did he give an apology wearing a hat? Did it bother y'all? I mean, it bothered me because I'm like, all right. First of all, the apology was very weirdly set up. And, well, why am I talking about it? Let me just show you a little bit of it. Mm-hmm.
Why didn't you apologize to Chris in your acceptance speech? I was fogged out by that point. It's all fuzzy. I've reached out to Chris, and the message that came back is that he's not ready to talk, and when he is, he will reach out. So I will say to you, Chris, I apologize to you. My behavior was unacceptable, and I'm here whenever you're ready to talk. I want to apologize to Chris's mother. I saw an interview that Chris's mother did, and
I'm going to save that for the end of the show. But Homeboy said, I'm here if you need to talk. And then he jumped right into Chris's mother. Now, listen, people who just say, I apologize, but act like he just walked into the room and like, oh, there happens to be a camera here. And then people ask me questions. Oh, yeah, by the way, I should apologize to you, Chris. Not even going to get that deep into it right now. I will later in the second hour as we wait for Kojo to dial in from London. But why is the brother wearing a hat? Why is Will Smith wearing a hat while giving an apology? Also, who is he looking at? Like he had like it was a fresh situation, and they're like, "Hey, why didn't you apologize when you accepted the award?" It's a very strange setup. I know that he has some $35 million contracts coming. Like, seriously. He's expected to cash a $35 million check, the highest upfront check for any movie star in history, for his role as a slave in a movie called Emancipation. So maybe those were 35 million reasons to now give this apology. It's very weird. He apologized more to Chris's mother than he did to Chris. He apologized more to Chris's brother, Tony. Strange. Like, I'm going to show y'all something else. Let's see if I got it. Because I'll show you why it bothered me that this man, who we ain't seen wear a hat since his Fresh Prince days, wore a hat during an apology. If I can find it. Because there was another instance of someone who apologized. This is it.
Family actually has a question for you. They just talked to me in my ear. I'm sorry. The Floyd family is asking me a question. I apologize. I'm sorry. The Floyd family has asked if you are going to get justice for George Floyd by making sure that the other officers are arrested and that eventually convicted. They want to, and I know that there are things that you cannot control, but they want to know if the other officers should be arrested in your mind, and if you see that they should all four be convicted in this case.
And this is the Floyd family right now?
This is the Floyd family.
To the Floyd family, being silent or not intervening, to me, you're complicit. So I don't see a level of distinction any different. Obviously, the charging and
y'all see that? Chief took his hat off. He took his hat off. Granted, Will Smith did not kill anybody, okay? But this is a man who took his hat off before addressing the family once he found out from jump. They take their hats off when they come to your door and tell you that someone died in the military and give you that news. They take their hat off when something respectful must occur. You don't walk in with a ball cap, sitting down with somebody off camera asking you a happenstance question for a heavily edited video 4 months later. Look, I get it. Will Smith has trauma. Okay, we all got trauma. I get it. I read his book. I got his book. Where the hell's his book? I got the Will Smith book. I got the book. I read most of it. Well, not all of it, but most of it. Some messed up stuff in there. But so, he's shielding himself. Let me tell you about true contrition. True contrition lends itself to being vulnerable. What we saw on a Friday, the same Friday where Beyonce gave her album to the world, so we know that the social media is going to suck that up. And also on a Friday, which we in the old journalism profession will call a dump day. You dump bad news or news that you want to not really build up on a Friday because the news cycle it's about to go out to lunch. People absorb things differently when it's thrown out there on a Friday to be released to the world for Saturday or Sunday. Strategic. How many times do you think they shot that? Who asked him the damn question out of nowhere? Why the hell does he have a hat on that says W on it? Are you still promoting shit? This is contrition. Contrition is not just saying, hey, I apologize. I used to have a girlfriend who would say, I apologize, but she said, I'm not sorry, though. I'm like, well, you could have kept that shit to yourself. There's a difference. There's got to be remorse. There has to be contrition. There has to be a degree of, I know I shouldn't have done that. Here we have the chief of the Minneapolis police who wasn't even near George Floyd, who had this racial shitstorm dumped in his lap to charge the greatest protest movement of this half of a century that we've seen in a long time. And he takes off his hat as soon as he learns it's the Floyd family on the other end. Because that's how real men apologize. That's how real men are contrite. That's how real people say, I'm sorry. Instead, it ain't sorry, not sorry. It ain't, you were right over there, camera. Yeah, so things have been crazy. Let me do my Will Smith impression. Yeah, so things have been kind of crazy past couple of months, and I had to get away. But yeah, so what? Why did you not apologize to Chris Rock? What was he, a 4-year-old? Who fed him that? It was the weirdest thing. And why is there a camera looking at him sit down for this whole setup? This Q&A by this nebulous, whatever, man. Will got deeper issues. And he got a bunch more pages to write. But that's between him, God, Chris, and whoever's writing that $35 million check. I'm going to move on. I'm going to put a pin in this. But look, if you're going to apologize, take off your stupid ass hat first. That's all I'm saying. Okay? Anyway, let's get on with the show. There's a person I want y'all to talk to. He's the brother who is our guest for the night. He's a social media legend. He's Kojo, and he's up after we see how he interviews folks.
From my perspective, what I'm seeing, what it feels like, it's almost like if you don't have time for bullshit, which is cool, but it's almost like you don't want to waste. It's almost like any conversation that. How do I put this in a proper way so it's deep? It's almost as if, like, you want to get to the crux of the person really, really quickly. So you don't want to have the dance. So what you don't want to do is the dance, but the dance is essential to the seduction.
I have no secrets. So once we start on the show and the women are being catty and petty, right? And I can't be intimate with either one of them because they're going to be throwing it in each other's faces. I'm not going to go 2 months without having sex. Tell you that right now. I'm not going 2 months without having sex. It's not going to happen. So there was You know what I mean? So let me tell you what happened.
Wait, Walter, wait. I'm gonna let you wait. Walter, what are you telling me, bro?
You're so good at that. You're so good at that. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll give a formal introduction for this cat. It's so funny, like he's become like a god brother to all castmates of the Ready to Love series and Love and Marriage series and all the series that he can get his hands on for an interview. The man, the myth, the legend, Kojo, aka Little Black Book 91. How are you, my man?
Captain, I'm good, man, and thank you very much, man. I appreciate the introduction too. That was warm. That was beautiful, man. I need to learn that introduction. That was professional. I'm gonna have to learn that introduction.
I may have done that a time or two.
Okay, because that was warm. That was beautiful. That was just pitched just right. I liked it.
Yeah, and that was me feeling because my show was falling apart in front of me. Like, wait a minute, what's going on? What I got to do? Oh, okay, it's all good. But you know all about shows.
Yes,
brother. It's so good to have you back on.
Thank you, my bro.
The airwaves. I appreciated you ever since, and I'll post it on my site because you got enough viewers. The interview that you did with me last year, that I think good. Really sort of stemmed on a social media level what people thought they knew about me, and we'll get into all sorts of stuff like that. But first of all, tell me, how do you get? You seem to get all the information out of people. People cannot bullshit you. Before we even get to your biography or what have you, how do you do it? What is your tactic?
Oh, I'll be honest with you. First and foremost, you know what? It's a God-given gift. It's God who gave this gift to me.
It is, right? You got it, right?
God gave it to me, so I can't even lie about that. Number two is also, you know what? You have to give people room to feel there is no judgment in that particular moment. So, you know, my objective is to ask a question which is open, and to allow the person to expand, not rush them, not pressure them, and just be ready to receive what they're about to give. And then also, you know, work on the back of what answer they give. Because oftentimes what happens in interview processes is you have 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 questions loaded up all at a go, and you want to get them all out of the way. But the thing is, I don't know the person. I didn't know you personally. So if I did that method, it would become very robotic. Rather, I work on the basis of what's your last answer to me. So I have a framework that I work with, but, you know, I want to be able to ask questions that are going to get you to be able to open up as well. So first and foremost, is creating that space of non-judgment, letting you know that, listen, hey, this is a space where we are trying to understand you. And that's the critical thing. That's why we start any interview with who are you, what you're about, childhood, everything like that. It's because we want to understand why you made certain decisions on the show. I don't want you to come on my show and be cold and callous as to what we saw in the edit. The edit already done you messy. Do you know what I mean? So let me give a different perspective. So it's all about creating a safe space, non-judgment.
Well, we had an old saying when I was a reporter: "Let a faucet drip and water will run." Right. So it's just a matter of like getting people comfortable, showing that they do have an advocate or something close to an ally in the interviewer, and they will have a chance to get their say. Well, I don't have those set firm questions. I know you have like a set of questions that you like to just sort of break the ice with, but I don't have those. But who are you? What's your full name? Man. We know you're Kojo. How many names do you have?
Man, I'm gonna receive an end. Yeah, listen. Now I know how tough that question is.
It's a tough question. Right?
It's a tough question. I ain't gonna lie to you. Yeah. So my name is Kojo. So Kojo. Darkwa Ampadu. It's actually Kojo Ampadu. Darkwa is my middle name, but Ampadu is my family name by my father. Yeah, I think we have also other names, Bonsu Osei. So the Bonsu Osei is really important because whenever you mention Kojo Bonsu Osei, they're usually the rich folk. So anybody who goes by the name of Kojo Bonsu Osei is usually rich. So I got a lot of cash out to do, first and foremost. But who am I? Depends how you define yourself, I guess. I define myself first and foremost as a believer, as a Christian. So first and foremost, I'm a son of God. I'm a child of God. I'm a son of God. I'm a born-again Christian, first and foremost. Secondly, you know, I'm a child to one man called Kofi. That's my dad, Kofi Ampadu.
And that's who I called you on our last episode.
Yeah, that's that's been a running joke ever since then on my channel about Kofi. All my audience now do it now, so you've actually created some history already on the channel. They now call me Kofi because they've also met my dad as well, because obviously he's come on my channel before as well. So, but yeah, I'm the son of Kofi Ampadu. And then outside of that, who am I? I guess for me, I mean, how would I describe myself? I am just an individual who loves to help people. I think that's what God created me to do, to help people. It's to be in a place of servitude. That's first and foremost. It's to open doors so that people can have healing, and not necessarily through touching them or having to bring any special magical powers, but using psychology to bring healing to people. So for me, I believe that God has called me to be a healer amongst my generation, but just through conversations. That's literally what God called me to be, you know?
There is that ingredient that you offer that's way different from the other bloggers, the reviewers, or whatever of these shows. You offer sound advice, insight, and you use your God-given gifts to make observations and try to inside out situations that are televised and use that as a springboard in a lot of interviews. I noticed that not just when you're interviewing people, but sometimes it's just your breakouts where you're just talking to the camera. Do you have any schooling in that, or is it just your conversation? And when did you know that you had that?
Man, that's crazy. Yeah, I appreciate that. To be honest, that thing has been there since I was a kid, and I hate to say the cliche. I hate to say it, but I gotta say the cliche. But the cliche
you also listen to Donny Hathaway growing up.
Oh man, they got me young. I too was watching those. No, no. Honestly, it's from young. Literally, when I was about, I think the first time I remember giving someone advice probably was in secondary school. So I would have been like, what, 11, 12? Because I was a fat kid that was always a friends of the girl. I was friend zoned a lot, okay? And probably for the best, for my health as well, because you know what? It allowed me to develop some certain skills. But I was the fat kid that was funny, and I was always in a friend zone. What that allowed me to do is have several conversations, many conversations over a span of a few years with girls. All right, and how they approach relationships. But I also spent a lot of time with the guys. And I'm like, these people are speaking two different languages. Like, what the guys are saying are not what you lot are saying. What you're thinking is not what he's thinking, right? So then what I became was a middleman in trying to explain certain situations to the ladies. Like, this is how they're thinking. Like, you're thinking this, he's thinking that. And to be honest, I think it runs in the family. When I was younger, my dad was doing the exact same. He was coaching people and helping people off the books, not anything professional, but that's what he was doing. And I remember hearing him do it, and I was like, oh, I think I can do that too. And I guess I started in school, and then that just carried on then to obviously YouTube. Now, I'll be honest with you, I failed psychology. Yeah, I got you. Yeah, if anyone wants to know, I got an ungraded. I didn't pursue it again. I failed it in A levels, which is basically like just before university for us. I failed it. I got you, and I thought, well, let me leave it there. Then it's dead in the pan. I'll stick to business studies and take that along the way. But when God wants you to be in a certain space and He gives you a gift, somehow it just seems to bring you back to that point where you're meant to be. You know,
you're the people's therapist. You don't need a degree.
That's one.
So talk to us a little bit because you mentioned your father a couple of times now. What about your relationship with him? Is he still alive? Are your parents still together? What's that family dynamic?
Yeah, they're still alive. They're still together. I would say I like to be very honest. You know, me and my dad, we get on. But I definitely felt there was a little bit of a gap between us two in terms of an emotional connect. Like, he was good in terms of obviously protection, providing, you know, being a Christian over the household. That was perfect. But in terms of obviously maybe the emotional aspect, he didn't have his dad either. So he didn't have his dad in his life. So he was doing the best that he can do. And I'll be honest with you, for me, it wasn't too bad. But, You know, maybe if the other siblings come up, they'll have a different story. They might have a different story. You know what I mean? But for me, it wasn't too bad because of the kind of way I am built as well. I didn't mind some of the ways that he went about it, but I also realized it also created an emotional attachment issue for me in terms of being able to be secure in my attachment style. I know my attachment style is emotional avoidant, and it's because I didn't do emotions with my dad. You know what I mean? We didn't necessarily do emotions. You get through it, you stop crying, you go on, and life is tough. Go on. You know what I mean? But I appreciate him nonetheless because there was key points I needed to learn. There was key things I needed to learn, you know, and it's funny how even though you go through some of these hardships with your parent, how some of those hardships then brace you for what's coming in the coming years of your life, you know? So for me, my dad, we're cool, we're great. I still believe there's things that he can learn to improve, and that's what I'm also making sure that I see what he's doing and go, okay, that works, that don't work. You know what I mean? So yeah, I appreciate my dad a lot, man. Yeah, my mum and dad are still together. Would I say it's a great marriage? No. But they're old school.
They're there.
But they're old school.
They're old school, exactly.
They're old school.
How many children? How many?
So there's 4 of us in total. I'm the firstborn. There's 4 of us in total. So I got my little brother underneath me. He's 4 years under. He's married already. I got my sister who's underneath him, and she's finished university. She's in another city, and then my younger sister's going to university now, so she's 18. So yeah, I'm the oldest of the lot.
How old are you?
Firstborn.
Is
Me,
it 91?
I'm 30. I'm
30?
91. Yeah, I'm 31 now. So yeah, I'm 91.
Yeah,
June.
June.
June 24th. Yeah.
What's that? Gemini? Or you
No,
just
I'm
missing your Cancer? You're Cancer.
I'm just about Cancer.
Ah, you're emotional,
Yeah.
so you're in touch with emotions.
Yeah, I'm in touch with emotions. You can tell.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
that's
I ain't got to
problematic.
date you, so
Thank God.
we'll touch into all that too. But there's 4 of y'all, 4 children. Parents are still together. Clearly of African direct.
Yep.
Is it first generation African?
Yeah, so my
Ghanaian?
parents came over. Yeah, Ghanaian. Yeah, they came over from Ghana, 1990 actually. So just a year before I was born. They were already married and came over to UK. And yeah, they settled in UK, and then 1 year later, I come out screaming.
Well, very good. We're here with Kojo and from Little Black Book. Why is it called Little Black Book? Why'd you go with that?
Man, do you know what it is? You know, I was always trying to think of a name that would be like really cool, right? And this is as cool as it gets. And I was like, okay, what's my channel going to be about? If that will give us an inkling what the name was. And I was like, well, you're Christian, and then something that you really love. What do you love? You love relationships, and I love the 90s.
Yeah,
I love 90s. Loved 90s hip hop. I love American. I guess I love the Black American culture around the 90s. That's what I probably love the most. And one of the things I always remember is that the boys never had cell phones them times. They had little address books, you know? So when you talk to a girl, you write the number, you might memorize it, you may run back home and you write into your book, or you have your book and you write into your book, you know what I'm saying? Just before pages came out and stuff, but you know, you write into your little address book, you know? And so for me, it was like, love the 90s, love relationships, and then love God, love the Bible, and the Bible also is black as well. All right, cool, let's just put the thing together. We got a little black book, you know what I mean? We got a little black. Why I said little, I don't know why I chose little black book. I don't know why I chose little. Why not big black book? I don't know why little came up. And I know, I remember now, because I said to myself, when they see me, it will be confusion, but then it will make sense because I'm not little. So like in marketing, sometimes you do the opposite to try and create people to memorize a particular name. So when I chose little black book, the little was because I'm not little, I'm big. So when people look at it like, why do you say little when he's not when he's big? Instantly, you don't forget the name because you're asking that question in your head. That was a bit of a marketing technique of business studies I studied. So yeah, that was why little came in front of it.
Yes. Tell me about this business. Tell me about your business. How? Yeah, tell me about it. How long have you been doing this?
So YouTube, I've been doing it for over 6 years, right? I've been doing YouTube for over 6 years, 7 years now. But full-time last 2 years. So 2020 May is when I went full-time into YouTube. I actually was working in banking before. I was working as a wealth manager. So I was doing relationship management in a sense with wealth clients. So I was working in a bank called HSBC. And so I was liaising with different clients and just trying to help them with their, taxes, help them with their, trust funds and all that kind of stuff. And that's what I was doing for about the year, just before COVID hit actually. And then COVID's about to come in 2020. And then they tell us in 2019, November, you know what? We're gonna let you go because we're gonna restructure the business. I'm like, wait, hold a minute. Why are you gonna restructure the business all of a sudden? You know what I mean? Like, what's happening? Why are they restructuring the business? And then COVID hits. You're like, these guys probably knew about COVID. But anyway, so yeah, then COVID hits, and then I'm asking God, like, God, what? And I was asking the Holy Spirit, what do I do next? Because I didn't come to. I live in an area called Birmingham, and where my parents live. Yeah, where people exactly yes, where people is where it's shot. But I originally came from a place called Northampton. That's where I was living with my parents. So I moved to Birmingham a year. I've been here for 5 years. So yeah, I moved in the first year, 2018. Yeah, 2018. I moved to Birmingham, and it was because God told me, listen, you're supposed to go to Birmingham, because I prayed about it. I dream a lot, so God will show me some dreams and saying, I need you in Birmingham. So I said, all right. We go in Birmingham. I get the job in Birmingham. I'm like, all right, great. Then I lose the job in Birmingham. And I'm like, okay, so what's going on here, sir? Because you ain't about to bring me here to be povertous. So, I got bills. I got a house to pay for. I got things to... They're not coming out from nothing. So I don't want to go back to my parents' house. So I just remember him telling me, listen, look, I remember I was walking past a certain colleague I know. He was like, you're going to have to fill out a self-assessment tax form next year. And I'm like, nah, I'm all right. Because I don't want, that's pressure for me. I'd rather work for the check. I'll be honest with you. I'm a work for the check kind of guy. I'll be honest with you. I'm a work for the check. I like my comfortabilities. I don't think about work and business after. But he's like, no, you're going to have to do a self-assessment tax form next year. All right, cool. And then so a few months later, I think it was in May, my final kind of month at a job. And I said to him, Lord, if you need to make this happen, because I've never made more than 250 quid a month on YouTube. That ain't covering my rent. That's barely covering food. Like, bro, it's not paying nothing. You know what I mean? So this needs to change. So if you're telling me this is what I'm meant to go into,
then you need to show me something.
You need to show me something.
Yeah, your end of the bargain, God. Yep.
Yeah, you got to do something, right? So I use a scripture, Gideon, in Judges 6, where he says, turn the fleece to moist. I say moist, people don't know the word moist, but turn it wet. And then turn it dry after. Yeah, ladies had the word moist. And then turn it dry after. Yeah. And so then that was my scripture I used. I said, Lord, that scripture there, if the same way he tested you, I'm going to test you. If I make £1,000 on a month, which I've never made in my entire life, on this YouTube in May, I promise you, I won't ask you for another job. I will stick to this thing, even if it means I don't blow up till later on. I will stick at it. That May, I made 990. Just short, but I took it as a lesson.
You rounded up.
I took it. Yeah, I took it. I didn't need to. Oh, I dropped my mic. I took it. I didn't need to ask any questions. Once 990 was enough for me. I didn't need to go any further. That was it. Yeah.
How does God talk to you?
Man, he talks to me several different ways, man.
Is it stereo surround? Is it a whisper?
It can be.
Talk to you?
Sometimes it could be Dolby audio. I'm telling you, sometimes it is a Sony picture clear audio. But in honesty, how God talks to me, I'll be honest with you, there's several different ways. Sometimes it comes as a thought, and I'll just know that thought is not mine, it's God's. And this is the difficult part, because a bit like me and you, if we're talking, right? Mm-hmm. If we're talking, as we spend more and more time together, we begin to rub off on one another, right? So certain tones, certain ways that we say certain words, the same certain ways that you kind of, mannerisms, I'll start to pick it up and you'll start to pick up some of mine. And the same thing is when you spend time with God, you start to pick up the mannerisms, you start to pick up the ways that he speaks, and it becomes not that I think it is, but it is, I know it is, you know what I mean? And I think that's the biggest difference. So yes, I'll hear a thought. Sometimes sometimes I can even see a poster or something like that. And I think someone described it as comedic. But for us as Christians, it's like when you see certain words over and over again, for me, that's God saying, focus on that, focus on that, focus on that. Mm-hmm. And I dream a lot as well. So when I dream, I pray about it and I try to interpret what my dream is saying. And yeah, a lot of times it comes correct, man. I'm telling you this now, man. If I tell you some of the dreams I've had, you guys will really be shocked, man. But yeah, that's how God be talking.
So but basically, circumstances got you in fiscal straits, but God was basically saying, you need to do this YouTube thing.
Yeah.
I've shut the world down for you so you can do this thing in the comfort of your home outside of the COVID. Oh. And you didn't just dive in, you were like, okay, you doubled down on this ask. And you were like, all right, God, if this is what you're saying, then you have to prove to me. And he was like, hey, is this close enough? 999.
Yeah. I know you want 1,000, but I'm gonna give you 999.
I know
if you really have faith.
Yeah.
That
see if
10%,
you can do it out
let's
that
see if you
10.
got it.
See if you can do it out that 10.
Got
See
it.
what happens.
See if you get that 10 if you can do it. You know, listen, for me in my relationship with God, you know, we have real conversations, right? I know my limitations. I know, and I'll say this all the time. Without God, I am bang average. If that. My skills are bang average. What people see and what people love about me, it's not me. It's what God is working through me. So when you see the excellence, it's not me. Because I'm telling you this now, take God out of that situation, I am rubbish. Okay, I'll be honest with you. My skill set is not skill set to nothing. It's God that makes me sharp. So, you know, just going into YouTube, when I first started YouTube 7 years ago, I said, I have a problem with finishing stuff. And I said, listen, for some reason, I don't know why, but I'm going to do YouTube. And no matter what happens, no matter how long it takes, even if it takes a decade, I will stick at it. You know what I mean? So that was my promise with me and God. And so to come full circle to a point where I'm now like, oh my God, if I ain't got a job, what am I going to do? Am I going to go YouTube full time? I'm like, this could be the moment that what we needed. Because I need a push. Because I'm going to go back to 9 to 5. I'll be honest with you, I'm going back to a 9 to 5 situation. And so now I'm talking with God. I'm saying, bruh, show me or dead this thing. Let me get back to trying to search for a 9 to 5. I was willing to go back to McDonald's. I was refusing to go back to my parents' house. I will go to McDonald's and work there to make money if I have to. And I've worked there before. So it's a painful situation if I have to go back there. But I was willing to do it. So, you know, this was one thing that I hadn't quit, which was YouTube. I had not quit that. You know what I mean? So to get to that point where that's the thing you're relying on, I'm like, God is funny. He knows what he's doing. Do you know what I mean? He knows exactly what he's doing. And so I knew that at that moment, he's kept this one and given me the strength to continue this one for a reason. There was a time and a season. So yeah, you know what? God is amazing when you have him in your life, man. I'll be honest with you.
And let's talk about it sounds like you were prepared, or the steps for where you are now. You were being prepared because you said you did what? You were wealth management? You would talk with couples. You would talk with couples about it. So what did you see and observe in that job?
Do you know what's funny? Okay, so even before HSB working there as a wealth manager, I worked as a personal banker, right? So I was working as a personal banker in Barclays. So as I was working in Barclays, I was before working as a personal banker, I was a cashier. So when I worked as a cashier, one of my biggest problems was I talked too long with customers. That's one of the biggest things today. They didn't like. They said, "Listen, we love you, coach, but you talk too long. Yeah, get them in, get them out. That's what you need to be doing. You having full blown conversations because I'm just interested in people." Then when I became a personal banker, when I got promoted, I got to sit down and actually have customers in front of me. That's when I really took the piss, because then at that moment I was doing 15-minute appointments and an hour, and I would sit there and I would just be talking to people, and before you knew it, what you see happens on YouTube is actually what was happening in my office. I have people crying, I have people breaking down, I have parents and children making up because I'm trying to now mediate between people. I'm having situations where, I'm counseling couples in the job. So all the things that I was doing then, what you've seen on YouTube, like you said, I'm preparing for it. I didn't know that, but I'm preparing for it in the job. For some reason, I'm just talking about it. And I remember the part where I knew that this is a God-given gift. I was talking to one of my colleagues, and we're on the way back from one of our jobs in another particular Barclays, and he was telling me his situation about his marriage. And I said to him, bro, when he started explaining to me, I just asked him a few questions. I said, nah, bruh, do X, Y, and Z, do that, and I think you'll be okay. Now, when I said it, I'll be honest with you, I believed it, but I didn't believe it. So when he comes back to me in a week's time, he says, Coach, he saved my marriage. I'm like, me? I'm like, bro, get out of here, man. Get out of here. I don't believe what he's saying. He said, no, because what you said to me, bro, it worked. And I'm looking at him like, I can't remember what I even said to you, bro. Because it was in the car. It was a late night. We're coming out from work. So I don't remember what I said. And when he said that, I said, wow, this is a gift. You need to hone this. You need to study this maybe and get more knowledge. So I started reading more. That's what I started doing. I didn't study, but I started reading more around different topics, around relationships and stuff like that. So in that job, I spent a lot of time counseling people who were my clients. So that's what a lot of times people will come back to me, be like, last time you said this, I really appreciate this, that. Now, obviously, it didn't get me always the best results because it's a business at the end of the day, but it was fine tuning that. So before I moved then to HSBC, I'm doing wealth management, which taught me more about how to handle my time than really the relationship aspect. But I was, like you said, I was all the times that I was in those jobs, God was preparing me, how to handle situations. So yeah, man. It was preparation for the right time and right season.
How did you, when you recognize it's a gift, are you fearful?
Ooh.
Like I think about like, say, you read the book. So like Saul, right? Saul he was about to have it all, right?
Yeah.
And it's kind of screwed it up. Or, there's so many examples in the Bible of where God is promising people things and they're not able to receive what the promise or the potential of the promise is. You know what I mean? So, that you have this gift that could either be Joseph and, fertilizer and feed people through a famine, or it could be a nuclear weapon and it could be really destructive to you. So when you recognize you first have a gift, what's your mindset? What was your mindset when you first said, I got a gift? Oh no, I thought he was thinking really hard about it. I think he's frozen. It was such a great question. He'll pop back. We're gonna let him think about that question. This is a good time for me to remind you of my sponsor, Body Butter Bakery, because 30% off right now until Kojo gets back. The Shawn Show is brought to you by BodyButterBakery.com. Visit www.bodybutterbakery.com for beard and body oils, hydrating shower gels, nourishing body scrubs with popular scents like strawberry lemonade, mango and pineapple, and champagne apple and honey. Yep, all that and more at bodybutterbakery.com, a proud sponsor of The Shawn Show. And like I promised, he's right back.
So the internet wouldn't go down.
That's all good.
It's
amazing. Like that was a serious question. I'm like, yeah, I got him thinking. I'm like, wait a minute, he's still thinking that same face.
I got
but yeah,
there.
so all right, so that was a question. It was a long question, but it's a really short premise. You got a gift.
Yeah.
How does that not destroy you? Right?
Woo! Do you know what it is? I'll be honest with you. I think for me, Paul says something really interesting in the Bible. He says, listen, there's a thorn in my flesh, and I asked the Lord to remove it 3 times. But the Lord said, don't worry, my grace is sufficient for you. I believe everybody has a thorn in their flesh. When they serve the Lord, everybody has a thorn in their flesh that keeps them humble. And I think one of my things that keeps me humble is my self-awareness. My self-awareness in terms of who I am and what my capabilities are. I keep saying it again. I know for sure, without God, I'm basic. There is no like, I can't even see. Some people are really gifted, and no matter with God or no God, God with God, whatever, they're always going to excel. With me, with no God, I will not excel. I will fall to the bottom of the pack. So for me, that's the thorn in the flesh for me is that I know that my skills do not excel unless God is in my life. So, and because I've seen it happen, I've seen when I've forsaken God, I've seen how when I don't keep God at the forefront, or I don't appreciate God in my life the way I need to, how things, I wouldn't even say fall apart, how things just begin to reduce. Because because my skill is so limited. Like when people are experiencing me, you know, the expansiveness in that moment, their revelation in that moment, their skills. Remember, I didn't study psychology. So if you're getting something that is, sometimes I don't even know what I'm saying. Sometimes it just comes to me. It's not me. So, you know, that's what keeps me humble. Is like that the gift itself, I know that the gift itself, it doesn't operate without the operator, which is not me, it's the Holy Spirit. So that's what is needed. If I don't have that, it becomes dull. And you can tell, right? You will be able to tell when it's dull because I'll just give basic information. You know what I mean? And also as well, what keeps me humble, I think any gift can take you left. I think any gift can create arrogance. It can create pride. We've all been there, you know, where your gift can take you left and you're like, I'm the king, I'm the champion. And I think when you have, I call it a fall, when God just allows you to, when pride comes before a fall, I think it teaches you, don't get ahead of yourself. Relax, you know what I mean? And I think that's what stops me from being destroyed in some sense. And then you have to use wisdom. You know, God says, if you haven't got wisdom, ask for it. So for me, I ask for wisdom. Hey, God, how do I sort this out? You know, how do you tackle this particular problem? You know, you're looking at this. How do you look at this? How do you see this? And sometimes the wisdom is go and look at a book. He'll tell me, go look at a book, or something will tell me this is the answer. Now go and look at a book to confirm that I've told you first, and now go look at a book and see that it's real. So sometimes what happens is I'll tell someone something and they'll be like, oh, yeah. And then I'll be like, I don't know where that came from. Then I'll go and read it in a book. And I'm like, what the? He told me this.
Right.
It's right. And so it's those moments, they humble you that you are not the best. Your God is the best and he's the one operating for you. So, you know, but the gift can take you left. It can. But I believe if you're God's child, if you really have given your life to Jesus, listen, God has a very funny way of getting you from A to Z. You know what I mean? Yeah.
All right. So African parents.
Yeah.
Ghanaian born parents. Is that where your religiosity comes from? Are they believers like that or no?
Yeah. No, they're believers like that. They're believers like that. But they're born again. So, you know, I make distinctions between those who are Christians by label, who go to church and just label themselves Christians, and those who really have given their life over to Jesus, which is completely different. My parents have given their life over to Jesus. And I remember when I was young, I was probably like 10, 11. And I remember them, quote unquote, for us Pentecostals, would say they were speaking in tongues. And I remember them, I was like, whoa, like, I tried to speak it and I was like, this is not working. I can't do this. But like, how do they get to that space? How do they get there? How do they get so close to God? Like, I want to be there one day. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, they're born again Christians, and they've been so for the last 2 or 3 decades, I believe. So, yeah, I mean, Ghana's of course, it's a Christian country as well, but yeah, it's what they discovered as the truth. So yeah.
So, you got this wisdom, you got this gift. You go and validate things that you don't even know where it come from, right? And you do a little research. That's the humility, just so you can make sure that you're just not throwing out any old jive. You're making it happen during this pandemic, during the crux of the shutdown. When did you know? Well, not when did you know, but no. Here's a question I wanted to ask because I almost lost it. What about people who don't know if they have a gift or not? Is it possible they have a gift and they haven't recognized it as that? You know, everyone is not able to be, you know, with hundreds of thousands of people talking to them and have that gift of connection and connectivity. You know, your gift may be some other things, but how would one try to find that? Does it always come back to that spiritual center? What is it? What's your advice?
I mean, there's a spiritual aspect to it, and there's also a practical aspect to it. Because I always like to bring both. First and foremost, I believe everybody is gifted, and that goes to Matthew 25, where it talks about the parable of the talents. You know, and some people got 5, some people got 2, some people got 1. All right, you got to work yours. Okay, if you got 5, work your 5. You got 2, work your 2. You got 1, you got to work your 1. Everybody's got their talent. Now, I remember my dad told me one day. He said. I said to him, "How do you know what you're meant to do, like in life or whatever? How do you meant to know? Like, how do people know? You know, because I think everyone's been in this position before. You can see some people are clearly gifted in a particular area that there is no other path for them. That's just the path they're going on because they're so gifted in that area. You know what I mean? Like, or you see someone who plays football or American football, and you just know they're gonna go to NFL. You can just tell by the way that they're crafted, the way the body is, the way everything just seems to be going towards NFL, right? Or at least they're gonna get to some high level of football, right? You can see it in them. Some people, they can sing so well. You're like, yeah, that's their talent. They can sing so well. And then you're looking at yourself and going, so what do I bring to the table? Like, what's my skill? What's my artillery here to unlock some doors? You know what I mean? And so my dad told me, listen, the thing that you find the easiest to do, it's more than likely your gift. And in 2022, that is no more truer words to be said. And I say that because you can make a living out of anything. I'm on TikTok and I see people sleeping. And I'm like, and people are paying people to sleep. And you imagine if I told my parents I wanted to be a sleeper, they would have looked at me like I'm a madman, I'm sure. But just think now how some people are, and I equate it to money because that's the easiest way to kind of make it simple. But whatever you find the easiest thing to do, because for me, when I discovered what my gift was, my one conversation I remember having, it was probably like 2015, 14. I was sitting with some friends and I said, we were all just talking in a group, and it was a beautiful conversation late at night. We're all sharing our vulnerabilities and everything like that. And I said to myself, I wish I could make money just having conversations. That's my, I said, because that's what I'm good at. I couldn't see no way how to do it though. But that was one thing I knew, that if I could make money, that would be the one. If I could have conversations, I will kill it. No one else can talk better than me at conversations. I'll kill it. You know what I mean? But what's the lane? What's the avenue of making money just having conversations? Do you know what I mean? Like, what is that? But that was the thing that I knew that would be the easiest thing. You need to figure out what's the thing that you do the easiest. Some of you, great orators. Some of you, great writers, right? And it might not be that you write novels. It may be like some people approach me sometimes to not write the essays, but rewrite essays or to edit essays. Maybe that's your skill. Maybe you're just good at seeing details. Maybe your skill is, I don't know, you're a great collector. Whatever it is, there is something that you do the best and you don't have to even think about it. It just comes naturally. That's your gift. If that means opening doors, open some doors, because you don't know. The next time you open a door, it could be for Obama, it could be for someone rich and famous. Your skill in opening a door, someone will be like, I don't understand. Why does this person even get celebrated for opening doors? Hey, it's a favor of the Lord in your life. You can't say nothing about that. Do you know what I mean? So I think anybody should be asking themselves the key question, what do I do the easiest? What comes to me naturally? What comes to me naturally? What is it that I don't struggle to do? And you'll find out that's it.
Your life's work, but it's not work. You know, it's not work when you're walking in your path. And if you got it, you won't work a day in your life. I look at old rockers, particularly like over there across the pond. You look at like a Sting or somebody. Sting has not aged. I think Sting is 70.
He probably is now. Is Sting still alive? Is he passed now?
Sting is still. Oh, jeez, you don't know what I'm talking about. Sting is still alive, and he looks great. Elton John looks great now that he's off the drugs. You know, like people. There's a lot of people who are working but aren't working, but they're paid because they're just doing what their God-given gift is to do. Has God gifted you women? I ain't ever seen him just get quiet like that.
What a question. What a question. What a question. What a question. You know what? So I think this is interesting, and I because my brain's always thinking. My brain is always thinking. And I said, I think, yeah. I mean, let's be honest. It's helped in terms of when you're, and I always say this for men specifically. You must find your path, not money, but you must find your path. When you're on your path and you're moving along your path, those things get added to you. They get added to you because you are like, and I equated this to, you are a man on fire. You understand? You are a man on fire running. And if I've never seen this before, but if I saw someone on fire running through a city or town, I'll be, what the hell's going on? And with how humans are, we would run after, like, where's he going? He's on fire. We'd all be running to see where he's going to end up, right? That's what happens to you that's what happens, how people see you when you are running along your path. Not my path, not someone else's path, not your mom or dad's path, but when you're running along your path. And as a man, you must trailblaze on your path. And everything else gets added to you. But a lot of us, happens to us, we're on different paths. And then we are dissatisfied. We stop in the middle of the path. We take a look. We get distracted by the scenery.
Yeah.
But if you stay on your path, all the things get added to you that you need to be added. You know what I mean? So for any man out there, I would say, listen, stick to the path that you're supposed to be on. And it's not about necessarily the money. The money will come. The Bible says your gifts and talents will make room for you before kings and queens. The money will be added. Make sure you got the gifts and the talent. You know what path you're meant to be on. So yes, has women come? Yeah, of course. Because in this life, a man who has power, wealth, and status will always attract women. If you have power, wealth, and status, depending on what level you are in that hierarchy or that level we talk about, you'll always attract women. Women are attracted to men that have power, wealth, and status. So as a man, your focus should be power, wealth, status.
Yes. It's one of the greatest quotes in Chris Rock's movie, I Think I Love My Wife, where Edward Herman tells Chris Rock's character, you lose money chasing women, but you never lose women chasing money.
There you go.
Not that we're talking just money, but money here is your path. If you just do your thing, people will find you. But with that said, I mean, that's a fantastic political answer, but how is it dating? How is it dating for you? I don't want you to get off of that. You know, I see you be dancing everywhere and shit. You have the music playing and you got the gun show going and you got tens of thousands of people watching you on a near daily basis, checking out your YouTube pages, your TikTok videos and all that. So the brands of women coming towards you, I'm sure way different from when you were working at the bank.
Absolutely. Again, I mean, this absolutely, because of course, first and foremost, not only have I grown more mature in age, but also your experiences. You've matured in your emotional capacity and intelligence. You've matured in your physique as well. You've matured in your mental state, and that also determines what you also attract as well and what you settle with. So, all of that is all included. I think for me, and then obviously, yes, of course, your the platform helps to create a status. You know what I mean? So inevitably, yes, the woman will change because they see you in a more elevated position. And I learned that actually when I was probably at 18, that being on a stage elevates you to a point where women see you as a different person. You know what I mean? So you have to create that stage that you stand on. You know what I mean? But for me, it has changed some things. Dating wise, I haven't dated. You know what? The last 2 years, I haven't dated. I'll be honest with you. When I was
we're not believing that. You haven't dated in the last 2 years.
No, I haven't dated. When I started my YouTube full time, I was with a girl at the time, and then we broke up towards the end of 2020. So after that, I didn't date again. I've been single.
2 years.
I've been single, sir.
Well, you can be single. That don't mean you ain't done nothing.
Nah, of course, that's why I said I was single.
I can't talk to you like I want to, but I already know. Let's project forward. Then you're 31.
Yeah.
Family and children, is that in the thought process? How do you even till your ground for that? You're kind of on a roll. It feels like
Yeah.
it seems like you got it. You got things lined up a certain way, but how do you till that ground for you to get what you want? If that's what you want right now, do you know if you want it right now?
No, I don't want it right now. I'll be honest with you. Not 2022. Maybe 2023. Yeah, 2022 is definitely not the year of marriage. It's 2023 potentially. Let's think about that. I think for me as well, I think I'm also learning how to cope. And this is something I'm doing purposely as well. I'm learning how to cope with power. Because, I'm trying to undo certain generational things that I've seen happen. And I don't want the same thing to befall me. So power and money, status, wealth, it can change you very, very quickly. And so for me, I've spent that's why I didn't want to date this last 2 years, because I really wanted to allow you have to hit a plateau. There's a certain plateau you hit when the pleasure of what you've experienced kind of comes to an equilibrium. You're like, okay, I've experienced it now enough. It doesn't excite me so much where I'm going to be acting crazy. And so I think I'm not there yet. I'm kind of getting there, but I'm not there yet. Because this is what happens with, for an American game, and we see it in the British as well. NFL players, basketball players, that is what happens. That power that you suddenly get, that zoom, it is so much to cope with. Like, I feel sorry for them, brothers. I'll be honest with you. I feel sorry for them guys. I would not want to be in their position. I know it sounds sweet to be in that position. It ain't sweet, because faithfulness is hard to come by when you've got women throwing themselves coming into your hotel. Now, I'm not saying that's happening to me. But if you all want to do that, it's fine by me. I also want to be tested. But no, but I haven't reached that level yet. But, coping with power and coping with power, I've seen how it can change myself in the past. So it's one of the things why I took some time and I said, don't date. Just learn how to acclimatize a little bit. Then once you've acclimatized, then maybe you can start looking for that, because now you've kind of got used to it. Listen, I spend money like I didn't spend money before. It makes you egotistical. You know what I mean? It makes you egotistical when I'm literally I'll be out and about. Maybe I'm with a girl, whatever. But like, take my card, man. Go and buy something. Like that's I've never done that in my entire life. I am a tightwad, so I get scared when I give my even me when I'm spending. So now I'm starting to realize there's certain things that I'm doing that are completely different. So there are some good parts and some bad parts, and I'm trying to even it out, because some of the egotisticalness that comes from having money, having power, it don't look good, I'll be honest with you, sometimes. But you got to ride it out, So for me, dating-wise, we sing.
One of the wisest things I ever heard an athlete say was Derek Jeter, baseball player here. He said, I'm not going to get married while I'm playing for the Yankees. I just don't see myself doing that. I'm not even going to try to do that. I'm just going to let that be the second piece of my adulthood, like once I'm done with my career. John Wall, a basketball player who I think just signed, he has another $65 million coming to him, and he keeps being hurt. He's like, I'm not going to get married while I'm making all this money. I just don't think that's a smart thing to do. I'm going to just deal with this landscape. And then when the time comes for me and I'm more settled in it, then I'll pursue it. It sounds like that's maturity right there.
Yeah, and it's not for everybody, but I personally think that if you're I'm not a millionaire, but if you're a millionaire kind of person, or you're someone who's making money, or someone's on their path, and I'm like, yo, if you're having where you got so much temptation coming your way, you might want to just step away from the marriage thing, because a lot of us cannot cope with that level of power. It's a coping with a power that's very difficult. How do I keep, like, you have to say no every single day. Now, that's not my particular situation, but you have to say no every single day. I'm just like, I'm looking at it and I'm going, I pray that's never my situation. As much as it sounds good, it doesn't really intrigue me or interest me at all, because I know that it's difficult to do it. But saying no every single day is a test on your self-discipline.
Okay. So you want it, you just don't want it right now.
I don't want it at all.
When it comes to, you don't want it at all.
No, I don't want that at all. I want a little bit of it. I want a drip of it. I don't want all of it.
All right, so let's talk about these reality shows that you watch and that you review and that you dissect. Do you have a favorite? For one, that's the first part of that question. And who do you like interviewing more, the women or the men on these shows?
Interesting. I mean, obviously, my favorite show, I think Ready to Love is probably my favorite show. I won't lie to you. I love that show, man. Ready to Love is my favorite show, and I think after that is Love Is Blind. Ultimatum was really I love those kind of shows as well, and then I would say Put a Ring in It. But yeah, that's what I would say. In terms of obviously interviewing, who do I love interviewing the most? I love the women. Let's be honest, I love interviewing the women.
You do?
You know what I mean? I do. Oh, especially when they're fine. It's even better. The flirt game is strong. So for me, I enjoy just the fun of it. Do you know what I mean? In terms of interviewing the women. But I would say when I do interview the men, I'm always looking forward to seeing who's like emotionally intelligent, and who's emotionally aware and who can hold good conversation. You can normally tell by the way that somebody answers questions, how their mind works. You know what I mean? So for the men, I'm always intrigued to find out, are they intelligent? Are they smart? Are they think? Because I'm trying to see where their mind is. You know what I mean? So for me, it's always that interesting balance with the men. Do you know what I mean? And to see whether they're willing to be vulnerable. Because women tend to be vulnerable anyway. You start asking questions, they tend to be quite vulnerable. Yeah, ask a few more questions. Maybe they're a bit guarded, but you can get them unlocked. The men, they know what I'm trying to do. So that's why it's interesting interviewing men. They know what I'm doing. And whether they're going to allow me to do it or not is the question. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
You also seem to have a quick calculus. You know what I mean? You really seem to sum up people pretty quickly. And then it's sort of like now this is a dated reference and it's very American, but there's like a Columbo moment, the old detective, where I was like, oh, I see where he's going now. I see where he's starting to, when you land a plane, you don't just go down, you sort of circle it a little bit.
Yeah.
And we can see you circling. It's like, I don't know if this brother knows it's about to happen, or this woman, he's about to land this damn thing. But you seem to have a quick calculus. Is that, who was a challenge for you? Are there any persons that we might be familiar with that could have been a challenge?
I think the challenge isn't necessarily about whether you can read them or not. I think the challenge is whether they will be willing to be open in the conversation. I think that's what the biggest challenge is. And if that's the challenge, I would say the biggest challenge for me, two people, David from a few seasons back, Pastor David, and then Zadia. Those two were the hardest people I had to interview because David just couldn't see it. Zadia couldn't see it. So no matter what you say to them, they can't see anything else apart from their own point of view. David too, when I'm talking to him, I'm like, you can't see their point of view, he can only see his point of view. And I think that for me are the most difficult interviews because they can't see anything else apart from their own view. So no matter how you land the plane, no matter how much you circle, no matter how much you try to corner them,
they ain't giving it to you.
Explain it, they ain't giving it to you. Do you know what I mean? And that's what makes it difficult. Whereas everyone else seems to be, okay, some people are not really happy. Maybe some people are not really open at first, but they'll open. Some people are like, you know what, I can see what you're doing, but I'm not going to give you too much. That's okay still. But when people don't see at all, that's the hardest part, man. It's like, oh, you don't even see it, man.
I figured that when I I had an elimination date with Zadia. They didn't even show that. And yeah, so it was like one of those things that they cut. And I'm sitting down talking to them like, no, she's not going to let you into that fortress. Nope. Very good. We're going to bring up the Shade NThe City girls in a little bit, but
Shade City girls.
Yeah. They're so shady. They literally are. I see them in the green room drinking and laughing right now. But I did want to get like another question or two out of you before we got you in. Now this is completely unrelated. You're British. You're African Brit.
Yep.
I'm an actor as well. I have an issue with all of y'all taking all of my roles. They ain't even my roles, but they're like, damn, we got an African to play Harriet Tubman. We got an African to play Malcolm X in the Regina King movie. We got an African to play Frederick Douglass in this.
I agree.
Come on, what? Sam Jackson has a problem with this too.
He has a big problem.
You're a cerebral fellow, so do you see both sides of this? Some people are like, well, they're the most skilled, or I see it as another condescending way white America says look, Black American, you're not good enough to do this. We might celebrate your race, but we won't let you actually
have this. Yeah,
because even Daniel Kaluuya played a brother from Cleveland. Like, we
played,
couldn't get a brother from Cleveland. All right,
Yeah,
I'm venting, but I just want your thoughts.
No. Do you know what it is? I do see the issues. I do see the issues with that. You know what I mean? I think obviously one of the situations with this. Well, one of the things about this situation is, it's interesting because the British actors, you know, we don't have much of a scene here in UK. When I say we don't have much of a scene, as in, if we're talking about black roles, it's not heavily defined here in UK. You know, you got a few like maybe gangster hood movies or whatever. That's about it. Yeah, you're not gonna get very high profile necessarily movies here in the UK as black roles in terms of even black films, right? You get to America and it's a wider, vaster pool, right? So already we are coming over to US with a different type of hunger. It's almost like how we in UK we talk about how Polish and the Europeans come over. When they come over, the way they work, bro, is different. The work rate's different. You can't even keep up with them people. They're so hungry that when you start your 1, they're on 5. And it's not because you're not good, it's because they're just so hungry. And I think that's also with the British actors. They are so hungry in terms of necessarily trying to prove themselves as well. And the fact that we haven't got that particular environment here in UK to even thrive upon, that US becomes that pond where they become hungry with it. I think that's one aspect for it.
So there's an immigrant work ethic aspect to it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. I think too also the translation of accents. I'll be honest with you, Americans, your British accent is trash. I'll be honest with you, your British accent is trash, and I guess because obviously TV, how we get a lot of American TV. So I guess learning accents and stuff isn't as difficult because we get a lot of Americanized TV. We can learn this quickly, and I think obviously. When you hear some of the actors, I didn't even know some of the actors were British. That's how good they are in some of their acting. Like the guy, have you watched All American?
Yeah.
The main character, I did not know he was British until he started speaking. He's actually from Birmingham. I think he's from Peckham or Birmingham, one of the areas. He's from one of my areas. I did not know he was British until he started speaking. When he started speaking, I was like, oh my God, he's British. Are you serious? Like, I did not know. So there are so many of those kind of British actors who fly underneath the radar where you wouldn't even know they weren't American until they started speaking their proper accent. So I think, you know, they do such a great job in that. Now, the other aspect is there a side to say that this could be the big FU from white America? Absolutely. You know what I mean? Absolutely. Another way to pin us against one another, right? You know, I personally think it's 2 ways. First of all, I don't want to see Will Smith playing a Nigerian man.
No, he was terrible.
He was terrible,
It was awful.
right? There you go.
And it was
I don't
so
want to see Will Smith.
slow how he talked.
It was because that's what it's so bad. You know what I mean? We don't want to see that. We don't want to see that, right? So I think it goes a bit both ways. I think you're right. Historical figures. Why can't we find an American who plays an historical figure? If it's an American, Black American historical figure, let's find a Black American, okay, who can do that role. And at the same time, let's not put Black Americans in an African role because it's seemingly not working very well.
Unless it's Black Panther, because that's an American thing, and we got no Black American men in that movie.
Because you know,
seriously,
accent probably sucks.
No, the African accents do suck. Well, hell, old boy Winston Duke, he was terrible. He's from the Virgin Islands.
I like Winston Duke.
Yeah, but he said, "No, you're trying to be bold." Well, that's not African at all. Wakanda is a fictitious country, and I know that don't sound like a Wakandan accent.
Yeah, it definitely wasn't.
I'm gonna bring these ladies in. Can you hang out with us for a little bit so we can talk about the show? I know some people want to talk about, but I'm going to bring these ladies in. They have cut up almost every type of reality show. I've been scrolling through. I'm like, oh, they watch that one too, and they're shady women. So that's why they call themselves Shade in the City. So I'm going to bring them in. soon as I find this clip. I may not have it. Oh well. Let's bring them in right now, and then I'll play them later. Ladies, are y'all there?
Yes, we are. Can you hear us?
I hear you. I gotta come up with
happening?
a format to get. Well, we're gonna get you in. Hang on. Hang on. We're gonna get you in.
Hello.
And Shawn,
These
I
are
don't
sisters.
know if you realize, but we were able to hear you talking
No.
about us.
He wasn't talking.
It wasn't crap, but I know how this works most of the time. I'm still new to this StreamYard. Ladies, Kojo, ladies. This is
Hi, Kojo. Can I do one
right.
thing? Can I do one thing? I'm gonna try.
Go for it.
You got the minerals. You got the
Yeah.
minerals. Stay hydrated because these streets is hot.
They are hot. They are. Gotta be careful out here.
No, I'm
Appreciate you,
a super
ladies.
big fan. I tell her all the time. I'll
She does.
watch your reviews after we do ours, and I'm
She's
like,
like,
he agreed with me.
She's like the Little Black Book said. I'm
Right.
like, so my opinion don't matter. Okay.
So much love, man. Thank you so much, man.
Oh, I just wanted to show this real quick. I'm sorry.
Oh, me dancing. Oh my god.
Oh, that is
Nice.
so funny.
You actually got TikTok. Wow.
I don't. Yeah. Well, you got some TikTok hanging like.
Oh!
I'm like so. What are we getting now? And this one kills me. Like the gun show, the peck show. You didn't see the breakdown? Now that hook, the robber. That looked hot.
We didn't know you
wearing
had
that
moves
one. That
like
looked
that.
hot
I gotta
to wear.
follow you on TikTok now.
Yeah, go follow me on TikTok, man. We viral from there, baby.
Are you Little Black Book on TikTok?
Nah, it's called Black Muscle on TikTok.
Black.
Really?
Yeah, because we black and we muscly, so. Listen, keep the name simple and sweet. You get me?
you need to do some leg presses though. You shape like the scissors I got back here. Upside down.
Leave me alone. Leave my scissor legs alone. Leave my legs alone. You see my thighs. Wait till you see my thighs properly. Don't worry about that. It's just shorts are covering the thighs.
Properly?
Okay?
I don't want to see anything properly.
You need to see my thighs properly, sir.
We got Shade NThe City here, and Kojo sitting in with us because the Radio Love Miami season has just premiered.
Yes,
it
sure did.
Thoughts, anyone? Who's seen it? What y'all think so far?
I'll let her go because she edited out most of my stuff that I say anyway.
She was being super shady. Sometimes
maybe I shouldn't say it on live.
But
okay, go for it.
But I think we used to live in Miami for a little while, so it's so it's just like here in DC, but it's actually worse. So I think this is going to be an interesting season because I was surprised they were able to find anybody.
Well, the good thing is the cast are older. They're older people,
right?
It's usually the younger generation in Miami that are not ready to love at all. So at least they're older. Maybe they are actually ready to love.
We shall see. She loves April though. We do love April.
April is a baddie.
What'd you say? April's fine.
She is so bad. I feel like she's killing half the ladies on the show.
I like Looney. I think Looney's a beautiful
baddie too.
Looney's beautiful as well.
She said she looked like Keisha off the belly. And
No.
Oh, I thought she looked like Brandy.
What's her?
Shakira looks like Tarl Hicks a little bit from Belly. Yes.
What's her real name?
Shakira.
No, the one at the
Tarl Hicks. Tarl Hicks.
Yes.
Tarl Hicks. Yeah. And
so we're liking it so far. It seems cute. I mean, I feel like you always got to have that off-cuff person like your PO or your Corey thrown in. So I was actually happy to see them get that done out the gate. But
thank goodness.
You said thank goodness you weren't liking that.
To the bees. I thought he was corny as hell.
Oh, Justice.
He was so super. Oh, I was like, honey, and the bees. Please, homie.
She wasn't here for it.
Not at all. I'm also kind of glad the dude with the messed up, like with the brown teeth left. Because I was not going to be able to watch him all season long.
Calvin.
Shawn.
Wait a minute. Who's the dude with the brown teeth?
She says it was Calvin. I didn't see that.
No, Calvin was the one with the.
That's the one that
right?
went home.
Calvin was the
remember?
one with the
No, Calvin
the
went
silver
Calvin,
fox. He was the one who left.
Yeah,
his
it's Silver
mother.
Fox. He went. Yeah, he left. That's not using one.
The other one you talking about the brother Shawn with the eyebrow who was always up. He was like always had his eyebrow.
People's eyebrow.
Yeah,
It wasn't quite the people's eyebrow. Yeah. I mean, I think I like the fellas a little bit better than I thought I would. You're just looking at pictures. I'm like, I don't know if this brother could be lame, this could be corny. It's like, oh, the light skinned dude's kind of cool.
So
He's
let
not even
me
light
ask you a
skinny.
question.
Who?
You.
Yes, ma'am.
So what do you think about Devin?
Devin is the football player, right?
It's a two-part question, right?
Okay.
First part, because one, do you believe he's really ready to love? Because he's already been on a reality show that came out.
That's true.
Oh, which reality show is it? See, I'm checked out.
Married by mom and dad. Married by mom and dad.
Married by mom and dad or something like
Yeah.
that. So do you really believe his intentions are good, or is it just here for more camera time? And then second, you being an actor and all, that's what I'm asking. And then second, though I don't know if you watched it, but the whole denial of the kids situation was
that's problematic.
Super problematic.
Let me tell you something, Shawn. Her and our friend called me at 2-3 o'clock this morning.
To have a whole debate.
To have a whole debate about this guy who denied his child.
What's the debate? What's the debate?
Whether it was messed up or whether he should have another chance because he like right away corrected it.
You know what I find interesting? Women, for every obvious that dude is a screw up type of situation, there's always some women. There's always some women. It don't matter who you are. There's always some women out there that say, "Well, girl, wait a minute." Kojo, you want to get in on this? What, like, bruh did have a terrible answer about the children thing, and yet
Right.
Tommy over there repeating the same thing. I got to see my child. Tommy said it like 15 times. Like, what's your thoughts on that, cat? So Devin is the light skinned brother who played for the Buffalo Bills. Trying to figure out what's his last name. What position did he play? Like, I guess right bench. I don't know.
And then Shawn, don't you guys go through like some type of therapy or screening process? So it's just crazy to me how the production could think that this man was ready to love and even put him on the show.
He probably denied it to them too.
Who said the production wanted him to be ready to love?
Well, I would think.
Okay, Shawn.
Okay, so of all the people, all right. So real quick, of all the people who are here, it's a star-studded cast. we have Teresa, we have Nels, and we have, of course, Kojo. I'm the only person who's actually been through this process and been on the show, right? That little psych evaluation, so they have you fill out like a paper or something, a form, and then you talk to a TV hired psych and through Zoom. Mine lasted, I think, 35 minutes.
Okay.
I think my answers were all great. He's like, there ain't nothing really wrong with this guy. All right, keep on. You're good for the show. Rubber stamp. Boom. Maybe his was a little bit longer of a psych evaluation, but I don't think the process is super thorough of scrubbing people's responses and who they are. They're still trying to put on a show. The third thing that they're trying to do with the show is actually find people who love each other, who could love each other. I actually think it's easier than what they did. The first thing they want is drama. Second thing they want is compelling television or something that's kind of you. And the third thing they want is like, okay, we need some couples somewhere in here. But because I look at it just on the face of it, I'm sure we could get to her, but I could probably bring her up now. But we're on Devin. Miss Charisse. It seemed like she's gonna be a lightning rod immediately.
Oh yeah.
I almost think I met her. All right, so she was up in Maryland, right? It feels like I met her somewhere before,
She lived down there for 16 years.
Yeah. Okay. But anyway, yeah. So Devin, I don't know. I'm not gonna judge the brother, but it is judgeable to say you ain't seen your kids. That's judgeable. You ain't seen your kids. What the hell?
I'm judging. And then my friend tried to argue that, I mean, maybe, he went this child's whole life denying it. So that's why it's the guy. I said, and that's okay. It's okay for a whole 10 years you be denying this little boy So now you denied him on the show, and then you slipped up. You know what? Yeah, actually, I do have a child. He's like, you should give him some grace because sometimes guys feel like women don't like kids, men with kids. So maybe that's why he lied. Sir, you are here ready to love.
Right.
So if you're trying to get in a relationship, guess what? She's gonna find out anyway.
And you're a former football player in Miami. That works. No one cares about you having or not having kids. They expect you to have 70 kids. Maybe I said that aloud, but come on, it's Miami.
Exactly.
But anyway, okay.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I think we beat that one into the ground. But wait a minute. So your girl, is she still Team Devin? The one who called about?
If this was a guy,
that was her and a guy.
No, I wasn't defending it. I was arguing.
No. He's the one that called. I mean, you were the one that made the phone call at 2 o'clock in the morning. Like,
there was a dude who was defending it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Well, bros tried to stick it up. I thought y'all found a woman who was like,
no.
Can't defend that, man.
Can't defend that one. Okay. Moving on with the rest of the cast. Who's the loud girl? The loud one. The one who's really loud.
Yeah.
Dominica. Yeah.
What do you think of her? What are your thoughts? Because I'm loud, so.
You are loud.
Exactly. You've been around me,
Well, the edit make it seem like she's loud. She's on 10 all the time.
All the time. Yeah.
I don't know. I know the ladies were over there having a conversation, and you were able to hear Dominica.
Yeah.
It singing in the background. Okay, so she was very much loud.
Is that unattractive to you, gentlemen? Do you find that unattractive for a woman to be that
boisterous?
Yes.
That was a very
Kojo.
good word.
Yes,
very good word.
Kojo, what type of women you like? I didn't get into that.
It's not, it's not that one.
Not that one.
I feel like I can answer this question because I've watched it too many. Hold on, let me think. What is the girl? It's somebody, and he's like, "Oh, she is so fine." It's not what's her name? It's not what's the name from Married at First Sight, but you do think she's cute. Alexis, it's not her, but you do think she's cute.
She is cute. I can't lie to you.
But it's somebody else. It might have been from. I'll get it before we get off. I'm gonna remember.
Yeah.
He's probably like, I know exactly who you thinking of.
He ain't gonna give it to you though.
Is it Shay?
Shay, which one's Shay?
Put a ring on it. Was it Shay?
Listen, I like Shay. I think Shay's amazing. It's still not for me.
Okay.
But she's very beautiful, very, very attractive.
Okay.
Very. I need a bit of. I need peace in my life, guys. Okay.
I need
peace.
Yeah.
Okay, I need peace in my life. So Dominique. I think Dominique is cool. I think Dominique has got a great personality. I think she's a good bundle of energy. I just think a lot of guys will be turned off because it's a bit the pitch. It's not even just the pitch.
It's the pitch.
The pitch. It's the pitch.
Yep. And we're not talking soccer either. It's the pitch. Yeah.
Just the pitch. You know what I mean?
This is no shade to you, but I literally said last night, it's the most problematic dudes that say they need peace in their life.
It's true. I'm problematic, so
just said that.
I can't say I'm not problematic. I can't say I'm not problematic. So you've not lied about that.
You're causing hell.
And I can't lie about that.
We're here with problematic Kojo and the girls from Shade NThe City. The past season of Love and Marriage DC.
Yay.
Yay?
Yeah, I loved it. I think they did a great job showing black, especially in this area, black families in a positive light. And you saw
Shawn is not looking like he agrees.
No.
Now I would love to get your opinion on because I already know Kojo's, but the only thing that I didn't like or wasn't crazy about, and she gonna stick beside her, was the whole Monique.
That's gay.
Her being messy. She thinks she wasn't being messy, and I'm like, she definitely was. And then I just hated seeing her like beat down on Chris, because sometimes I honestly feel like she has something that she can't figure out what it is within her. And because she can't figure it out, she's taking it out on Chris. So everything he does is wrong. He can't do anything right.
Now, what do you think that something is though inside of her?
But I don't know. She needs to figure that out. That's the thing. Ooh, okay.
Oh, somebody answered the question.
Right.
You like Courtney from Ready to Love DC.
Okay.
Was that a ding, ding, ding? They got it right? Is Nancy right?
I neither confirm nor deny.
Okay.
But you know, Courtney's got my love still.
I think, Nancy, I think you got it.
She's a beautiful girl still.
But what do you think, Shawn?
You know, I think because I watched the show sporadically. I couldn't watch it all the time, but you know, I'm neither in love nor married. But she did mix it up a lot, and Chris is. What can you say about Chris that you say
like
about your little
bear?
He
is, you know, and he's sort of like, I'm just along for the ride here. I'm just
the problem is I don't feel like I feel like the things she's saying are valid, but the way she comes across to him, especially with him being like, he comes across like kind of sensitive. So the fact that, you know, he comes across sensitive and she's kind of like, ugh, like beating this shit into him. It's like,
well, it's a study of these dynamics, right? You know, a woman like her with a man like that. And like what was it like when they first met? Was she at all like she is or was on the show when they first got together? You know.
Good point.
I'm more curious about those things. That's why some of these shows frustrate me, because they just show you who they are now.
Yeah,
right.
But especially if you're going to go through a relationship show, love and marriage, okay, is this the same person or persons that they said that they were or showed themselves to be in the beginning? You know, because I got a feeling he may have always been the way he is. I can see her getting more confident through their relationship. Mm-hmm. And confidence and assertion can turn into other stuff too. Yeah. Which could, you know what I mean? Feel like I'm being diplomatic.
Turn into bitchiness.
Turn into what?
Nothing.
She said turn into bitchiness. That's what she said.
The views expressed on
not my own.
Or not my own. I might have to meet these people someday. I think I have met them. I haven't met her. But yeah, I mean, that's the way I see that. I thought that show was pretty triumphant. I am hearing rumors about, you know, another couple from the Ready to Love ranks moving into that. If they do a second season, yeah.
Okay.
Well, that's good.
But they're not married, so why would they be on the show?
It's love, right?
Oh, look at you dropping tea. I love it when you do this. I love it when you do this.
I confirm nor deny. Y'all were on my first episode. That's right. And it was, I got drunk. But I mean, it would make sense if you have a certain couple and if they still do Love and Marriage DC, and they seem to do these shows in suites, right? So they'll do 2 seasons in one city, 2 seasons in another city. So they got another season coming in DC. So that would make sense if you had, say, a Clifton and Joy on there.
I would think like, I don't know. I
would like to see, well, depending, what about Takia and her new boo? Congratulations to her.
That's very true.
Yes.
Yeah. Got engaged.
Happy for her.
It would be a TV decision because TV.
Shady, but his face gives away his shade.
Right?
No, what I'm saying, I'm not shady. I'm saying it'd be a TV decision because with Joy and Clifton, you have 2 times of the Ready to Love imprint that would follow, right?
True.
You know,
very true.
You have,
and people love them.
And unless Takia was like a force of nature, like a big television draw. Which I don't see her being. I think she's very cool, but I don't see that being like, okay. I can see people saying, why are they on the show? Because I don't think there'll be drama there or rooting interest for him or her. It'll be sort of like, all right, I'm glad you found love, but he wasn't even on the show. But you had a couple that was on the show, so bring the couple in. That's what I would look at as a TV exec.
Okay.
What do you think, Kojo?
In terms of what the Dakia situation, whether Dakia could be added to it.
Yeah, Dakia and her new. She is engaged though. Her new fiance on a show like Love and Marriage DC for a second season.
I personally would love to see more Clifton and Joy on there. To be honest, you know what I mean. I need some controversy. So controversy sells. We need TV controversy. Since we're not having a winter special again, let's get Clifton and Joy in there. You know what I mean?
So you think that they would have more controversy than we think?
Yeah, I just don't see Dakia having controversy. I mean, this,
That's
you know what I mean?
too.
Like, and even when she had a controversy, she didn't really want to even talk about the controversy. It's like, we wanted to interview you so you can get them to the bottom of the stuff, and you didn't do it. So why do I want to see you on a show again? No offense to her. I'm not even beefing her. I just don't, because then it'll be the same situation again. You want to keep your image. You want to keep your image. Keep your image. Let's not do you on TV again because you're gonna waste our time. We'll be asking you questions saying, "What about this?" And you'll be like, "Well, I don't want to talk about it." All right, cool. Don't talk about it. Let's get Clifton and Joy on, who at least, even if they don't talk to everybody, they talk to somebody, and we can get some chaos. Okay, let's get some mayhem in there. Yeah, Joy gonna say something to somebody, and I'm gonna enjoy it. Clifton probably gonna do some madness, talking to somebody who shouldn't talk to. I'm enjoy it. You know what I mean? I want to see the world blow up.
I'm learning.
You know what I mean? I want to see DC blown up. So let's put Clifton and Joy on there.
See, I agree with that.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
I don't think they would have that much drama.
I can see Joy now.
Maybe not with each other, but
I was gonna say.
It only takes one shady comment for Joy.
It only takes one shady comment.
Only one shady comment.
Because Joy got him out too. So
Joy is ready to fight, and I can appreciate that.
And we really didn't see that until the reunion.
Exactly.
The reunion special was like, oh wait, there was a whole different vibe.
Right? Who was this person?
She wore a dark hat, a black hat on the show in the reunion. So that was a little bit different. So if that Joy shows up with Clifton, yeah, that's kind of interesting. But that's all speculation. But all right, I'm bouncing around here. Back to Ready Love Miami. Miami, like you said, I didn't think that they were going to find black folks in Miami to do it.
Do you have a favorite on the show, Shawn?
I like the dark women. So I like Shakina and who's the 30?
Oh, Shakira.
Shakira.
Yeah, she's
who's the chocolate sister?
The older one
who's wearing the orange. What I like her, but I don't know if she's gonna. Yes. What was her name? The one with who does the mic? She's a personality.
Kayla.
Oh, Kayla, yeah.
Kayla, the one that has her own YouTube.
Yeah.
Okay.
I said we need to check it out.
Yeah, that's Kayla.
The problem with this show in the first episode is it's tough. Like they need to give them some activities that we see them all doing together, and maybe expand another 30 minutes to 40. Okay. Not to pitch my own thing, but if they were to bring in me and I host speed dating on the first episode,
I know that's right. Shawn.
Let them mix it up, right?
I know that's right.
And let's see these motherfuckers talk instead of this little snippet shit, like because I'll tell you what happens during from what I was told, because I wasn't there because I was brought into the middle of the show, but it was a lot of waiting around. They can't play music because they want to hear your conversation, so it's actually more stale than what you get.
Oh, okay.
Because you can't play music because they want to hear conversations. It's a whole day. It's like a 14-hour shoot. So some people may be pluckier than others. And then you got to get rid of somebody. You're like, well, shit, I didn't have much time to talk with anybody, So I don't give them some activities. Let them play some cards or something, because just being
see how they act with spades on the table. Right.
See how they act with when someone cutting off the jump.
Oh, let somebody renege. It'd be a whole fight. Because
Dominica, she might start cutting somebody. She might get super loud. All of Miami might come out of her. But that's.
So what did you think about? I did get an interesting perspective. Somebody was like, "Well, why would they do a pool party with all the girls half naked?" And you're supposed to be ready to love, and they didn't like. And I said, because it's Miami. Why wouldn't you open up Miami like that? Let's get the lust out the way. So I understood why it was done, but I did hear from other people that they didn't like that it was, that was the first scene. They made it
Those people are idiots. It's Miami. Everybody gonna be showing their chests, thighs, and ass.
That's true.
Because it's Miami. What's the point of being in Miami if you're gonna have them wear suits and overcoats?
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's terrible television right there. I don't want to see that. Kojo don't want to see that. No, nobody want to see them all clothed, sipping tea and shit. You know, like, I don't want to see that.
Sipping on gin and juice.
But yeah, so we'll see. But I don't know. Those are my early impressions. Anybody that you just can't stand so far?
I wouldn't say can't stand, but Swayze gives me what I like to call FBE.
Yeah.
FBE.
Oh, I know what that stands for.
Yeah. Boy energy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That's what he gives me.
I can agree with that.
Okay,
I can work with that.
Look,
yeah,
I'm gonna text you. Little Black Book agreed with me.
I'm not feeling him either, so we agree there.
Oh, okay.
I swear, anytime we don't agree, she's like, "Well, Little Black Book said." The hell? Is Little Black Book your co-host? The hell?
She's today. You know I am.
I'm just saying he got the credentials. That's all I'm saying.
Come find me, baby.
Well, you know. He's like a therapist, so.
so Kojo, you do see this. So you have acolytes of some sort, right? But you don't have any like people under you to do what you do. Do you? You don't have anybody who just like, hey, do you have like your own gang, your own squad? You know, like rappers will have their own squad. Like, how does it work?
Yeah.
With you?
Yeah, I have my own squad. Like if you see, like when we have the panelists and stuff, right? They're like obviously like Jay, Shawn. Seaway, there's quite a few for us. Chris Natha, Onu, and there's a couple of old people as well, but old gang from the last panels as well. We just chill and vibe. We chop it up. We have our own little group chat as well, so we always chop it up in our group chats and stuff like that.
But everybody's across the. Oh, go ahead. I
was gonna say everyone is across the pond. Yeah, I don't think there's anyone in Britain, and UK who is a part of that kind of group, you know what I mean? Because it's a very specific niche, isn't it? We're talking about Black American shows, and I'm a British person, so there are some British people that do watch American shows, but again, we're not streaming this legally. So yeah, it can be difficult, but no, it's cool. I love the people that are across the pond and the group, the kind of team we've built as well. So it's all fun and vibes, man. We do need to open up for the third wave of panelists, though. So if anybody's interested, they should shout me because we're looking for new panelists now. Do you get me?
Oh,
Oh,
we have to do the
are
new
you?
group.
I'm just saying you're looking down at us. I don't know if it's just the positioning or the.
You know what? I could be looking down, baby.
Yeah. You're gonna do that anyway because they short as hell.
Oh, don't do that.
In real life, you're just gonna be
nothing wrong with that at all.
Nothing
Nothing wrong with that at all. Wait, how tall are you two?
I am 5'1.4".
Okay, that's not a problem. And yourself, madam?
I'm 5'3".
Nothing wrong with that at all. Beautiful sizes.
We're fun size.
I don't know.
Oh, not you saying the red light
He was
special.
like, what were your dad's pawns?
DJ Fun size. Like, red light special. That still gets me though, man.
Yeah.
What was he doing at red light? That's my thing. What was he doing at red light? That's what I want to know.
The inquiring minds want to know. He say sleeping, but I don't.
How you falling asleep at red light?
Exactly. Exactly.
Something
but I guess for me, we have to look at. But Lorena is the one that accepted this.
That's very true.
Like, cause me, I'd be like, if I would be mad, I would be insulted if a man tried to sell me. Like, you couldn't think of nothing
You're
better.
insulting my intelligence.
Did they say at red light? You fell asleep?
Right? Like
Insulting
but,
intelligences.
But hey, no, I mean, she gonna stick beside him.
She's gonna. That's her man.
26 years. I ain't mad at it.
Was it 26? Is it 26?
Yeah, it's 26 years.
Jesus.
They've been together for time.
I ain't done.
Just can't throw that way.
That's why she's bringing up old shit, because that shit's still bothering her ass.
It's still. Listen, baby, she ain't healed.
Right.
She ain't healed. You know what I mean?
I've been dealing with this for 26 years.
I'm gonna do another 20.
She is, but I hope she speaks up because I feel like we were talking about that in our review. It's like she has no voice. Like she always backs down to him.
Do we like these shows because we get to, you know, make our little dime store psychoanalysis of people who, you know, not to say that y'all got dime store psychoanalysis, but you know, is that the draw of these shows? Because I honestly, I don't even know why I did it.
No, I think we talked about this before. It's really to see like I think for me, like when you're in a relationship or dating and been through the different experiences, and when you can see different things come across your screen or relate to the experiences. And I mean, I've watched a show and then listened to Kojo break it down from a therapy point of view, and I'd be like, damn, that was some real maybe I'm going through that. Maybe that's what's wrong with me. Like so honestly, that's why I'm here for
Oh my God, especially
that's why most of our stuff is about love, relationships, and because that's
especially we'll put a ring on it.
Right, we'll put a ring on
it. What's her name? Dr.
Nicole.
She was like, oh my God, Dr. Nicole was talking to me.
Yes. I feel it in my spirit.
Kojo, do you learn anything when you watch the shows, though?
Absolutely.
You seem like you're so on point. You seem like you're so on point.
I learn so much. I'll be honest with you, I learn a new thing every single day. Every time I watch these shows, I learn something new. You know what I mean? I think it's he's looking at that, surely. But no, I learn every single time I watch these shows because I think one, it's you know, you have to look at yourself, you know, and see if there's things that you're doing that you're seeing someone else do, you know what I mean? And very often the very things that makes us very angry and vexed when we're watching certain shows, oftentimes are some of the things that we do. So, you know, so sometimes you're looking at, you have to look at yourself, you know, you have to look at yourself. So I think these shows are great. They give us a way to be non-invasive in our own lives without being judgmental about ourselves. You know what I mean? So like you can look at someone else and be like, oh, that's a bit mad. And then you can go look at yourself and be like, maybe I'm doing some of those things as well. Maybe I need to change that. And there's no one around to like kind of judge you for it. So
right.
Really,
so is it more?
It's like self-discovery. It's
yes.
I love it because I'll be like, oh my God. I'll ask her. I'll be like, do you think I do that? Like, do you see that in me? Because if I can spot it, then that means other people, and I think I do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So is it more like the situation that you'll see? It's like, okay, I relate to the situation, or do you see people
behaviors?
Yeah.
But will there be? Both. Are there actual people that you could say that's just like me as a person, not as a situation? The person being in the situation. Like, I'll tell you this. I have not seen the little bit I've been watching another Shawn.
I can't say that either.
Yeah.
No, I can't. Yeah. They're pretty unique. So.
That's what you are. No, and I will say that because to your credit, normally when we, especially with like Ready to Love, or normally when we start off a new season of something, it's so easy to think back to the last cast. Mm-hmm. And we have yet. We've compared what Clifton has already came back up. Somebody else from last season, Corey, has already come back up. But one thing we have not mentioned your name. No, there isn't any Shawn reminders. You are.
I went on there long enough for that. I don't think.
I can't.
Well, who's the Corey comparison for this season?
Oh, that was Shawn, the new Shawn.
Oh, the new Shawn.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah.
And
the one that was offering to take the girl on a trip.
Right.
Yeah.
Off the jump.
Yeah. It was given, 51st dates. I want to take you out and for everybody. You get it.
They cast it like Saturday Night Live do. Who's the Will Ferrell this year? Who's the Eddie Murphy type this year? I guess that's what they do. But no, I ain't seen a Shawn on there. All right, so where y'all think we're gonna go with this? Is this gonna be a good season or what?
Absolutely.
Oh,
absolutely.
It's gonna be good. I just pray. We were talking about this. It is still Miami.
Exactly.
Even though they're grown.
You
may not know, but
they ratchet.
Basketball Wives showed us that 40-year-old women will throw wine bottles, drinks, run across, shake the table, do all that. So, good luck. That's all I'm saying. I hope they as grown as they say they are. That's all I'm gonna say.
I don't expect.
They said good luck in Miami.
They said good luck for Miami.
But they used to live there. They used to live there, Kojo.
That's why they're giving you the first-hand experience, sir.
Well, if they did a Ready to Love London or wherever you are, would you do it?
No.
You wouldn't do any of these shows, Kojo?
No.
Or would you do your own show? What about The Bachelor?
No.
None of these shows.
No. These shows don't suit me, man. Do you know what I mean? And
You
like I
wouldn't
said,
do Married at First Sight?
I definitely wouldn't do that. I wouldn't trust Pastor Cal to choose on me a wife. Are you all right?
About idea.
That guy is choosing. He's choosing people for entertainment. No, yeah, I just wouldn't do these shows. I don't think it suits me personally down to a T. I think it would be an amazing experience, but it's not really my kind of thing. I just think to myself, I think my frustrations will boil over with certain things that happen. You know what I mean? Especially certain edits, certain way that people control narratives, trying to force people to make certain movements. Like, you're not about to manipulate me. So, yeah, I personally probably would stay away from those kind of shows personally. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Yeah, not for me. Not for me.
I know, Shawn, after speaking with you about editing and OWN and their network, I swear, everybody complains about editing.
And it'd be different shows, like from Love and Marriage DC to even Put a Ring on It to they're all like and I'm like, why? I mean, I wouldn't say it's just OWN, but I noticed it's a big problem. It's like the main thing you hear.
Well, the less money you spend to produce these things, the more work that is for whomever the person is producing it, and it's a more vicious cut, right? You know, so it's like you go and you say, I need to get a haircut, so you can get your hair cut, or you can go to a stylist and they'll do something with your edges here, and they'll do something with your, you know, because I'm son of a barber, that's the way it is. Or you can get a hatchet job, and sometimes when it's time and you have a time crunch because you don't have as many people working on things, or there may be turnover behind the scenes with the producers who have to look at all this footage and boil it down to 3 minutes that serve a storyline, you're going to get hatchet jobs. And I think it may be a budget issue. Not that these shows aren't making money, but they could probably use a couple of more producers to massage the edits to be fair for everybody. But then again, you get a bunch of people who say, all right, I'll sign my life away to be on TV. They ain't going to care that much.
Nope.
Now, they might care a little bit more with Love and Marriage because, you know, those are folks with money and lawyers at the ready. You know. Right. But like some other shows, you ain't going to get that. That's what I think. All right, I'm going to wrap this up because it's getting late. Well, I'll say this. I do have a question because I opened up the show with this because I was going to close it in my own piece when y'all were gone. But y'all weren't bothered with Will Smith wearing a hat, apologizing. I'm sorry. This gets on my nerves, man.
What do you mean? Because he was wearing a hat.
You feel like that's disrespectful or something? Like
he's
that's
wearing
like
his own brand.
He was wearing his own brand hat. So I'm gonna. This is a good time to brand.
He's a businessman.
This is a good chance to brand.
He's a businessman.
And talk to some strange person over here while someone else is filming me. Get ready to talk this as if I just.
I'd wear my minerals top.
Will Smith, he don't gotta put himself on.
I'd wear a minerals top if I was apologizing. Gotta do what you gotta do, man. Business, baby. He knew people were gonna watch it.
Was he apologizing?
And he's losing so much money. Why not?
Well, no, he just got some new money.
No, he just got some new money.
He just got a whole new.
Because he had to get it out the way.
Was it 35 million or something?
35 million.
He making up for his losses.
Baby. Gotta do what you gotta do. Listen, he probably wasn't apologizing for Chris Rock. I'll be honest with you, I don't think he's apologizing. I mean, I said in my review he was, but let's be honest. He was probably apologizing partly to Chris Rock, partly to the audience, partly to the audience beyond the audience, which is those people who actually pay him and accept him roles. You know what I mean? Listen, hey, it is what it is. You gotta do what you gotta do to make the doors open again. And
I don't believe he's sorry, but he wants.
I don't think he's sorry. I wouldn't even feel sorry slapping Chris Rock. I'm just gonna be honest with you. Once I've slapped you, I'm not feeling sorry for you. Yeah, once I've slapped you, I'm not feeling sorry for you.
Kojo.
Yeah.
We had I feel like we had this conversation, Shawn, didn't we?
I don't think so.
About the slap. And I was like, yes, that's the type of energy I want my man to have. You better.
Did we? I don't think so.
No, we didn't. I don't.
And you were like, "That's crazy."
We did not have that conversation.
I don't think so.
I ain't slapping nobody for her.
I wouldn't have slapped anybody, but I would also understand why.
I'm not slapping anyone for her.
For Jada?
No, her rusty ass red table. I'm not slapping anyone for her and an ashy, rusty ass red table.
Well, that's his wife, and he gonna stick beside.
What's she done to you, Shawn?
Right.
Yeah. What's she done to
Were
him?
you
Is
in
the
an
question.
entanglement, sir?
Right?
What's she done to him?
What have they done? What have they done to each other?
Give,
What have they done to
give
each
the Bella
other?
Lugosi eyes.
What have they done to each other?
You gonna stop coming for Jada, sir?
They've done it to each other.
Yeah.
But I do
Thank
believe
you.
there is some Jada's
There's
got
a
some
chapter
powers over it.
missing in this book.
That's about Jada.
That's all I'm saying about that.
You can't write that whilst he's still with her.
It might be the last thing he write too.
That's what I'm saying. It'll be a murder case. That's for sure.
Yeah, she is from
You know
Baltimore.
what I mean? Yeah. I mean, but obviously Will Smith's got to take some accountability. If you're marrying people that you felt like, you have to measure yourself up to, ain't nobody else's fault. Nobody tell you to leave your current girlfriend or current wife to go with another girl. No one told you that. You know what I'm saying? So you got to take some accountability. The girl didn't want to marry, you married her. You got to take some accountability. There is no one else to blame but yourself. So if she's moving mad right now, it's because you chose somebody who was mad, and they told you they were mad, and you still married them anyway. Okay? Because you ain't about to let me be in a marriage where you're comparing me to Tupac. There ain't no way one of our daughters are gonna find out a letter that you wrote to Tupac. There ain't no way. Ain't no way. Ain't no way. Ain't no way. Okay?
See, I love it.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right.
That's
That's what I mean.
Told you.
Right.
Told you. This book is incomplete. And that's exactly
can't write
right.
that chapter
And there's not any time she actually like big ups her man in any public quote ever.
That's very true.
There's not a
I'm good to
quote
hear
out there where she says, "I love my husband, I love my man," or
I think she said
that's not who he
At the
was.
right
That's not
table,
who.
she loves
That's
her
not the Will I
husband.
know. Instead, she's like, "The time is here for healing, and I'm here for it." Heifer, what the hell does that mean? What? You didn't say anything.
Shawn, you lost me because she's a Virgo
Jada,
and
if
I'm
you
gonna
there,
stick
love
beside
you.
her.
She's a Virgo.
Yes, she
I'm
is.
sit beside her.
Her
Well,
birthday
that-
is the day before mine. I'm gonna stick beside her.
She ain't gonna stick beside you though.
Oh,
She ain't got to.
That's
Virgo,
She ain't got
Virgo
to.
love right there. You know, Beyonce is Virgo too. Is that album
Yes, I
good?
know.
Is that album
I heard.
good?
Was the album any good? Yeah,
Oh,
the
I
Renaissance.
haven't listened to it, believe it or not.
No, her new album.
And was she cussing Jay-Z?
Ooh.
I listened to it. There's like two
Was she
songs
cussing?
on it that I like.
Was she cussing Jay-Z in one of the songs, Renaissance? Was she cussing?
No, not really. She
Oh,
doesn't-
you listened to it, Shawn?
I did.
Okay, what were your? I just didn't think it was gonna be my speed. Like I heard somebody's opinion and they were like,
I don't think she wants to be a singer anymore. I think she
Yeah,
wants to
that's
be
what it was
party
giving.
woman rapping. And
that's what it was giving.
I feel like she's showing her age by trying to be this woman. It's like it's what happened with Prince at one point in his career. So Prince was like, when he was with New Power Generation, all of a sudden he's like, well, I hear this rap is pretty interesting, so I'm going to start rapping on my songs. You're not a rapper, Prince. And Beyonce, you ain't a rapper either. And you trying to get the party started
Beyonce got
every damn
bars.
song.
Beyonce do got
Beyonce
bars.
got
sometimes.
bars.
She's
And those
got-
are not Jay-Z's bars. Those are
She's
her
got
bars.
ghostwriters, and those bars aren't that great.
Sir. You gonna
Is the album any good?
Sir,
Is the album any
Jay-Z
good,
said
Virgo?
one of the reasons he fell in love with her is because she could freestyle.
I thought he fell in love with her because she was $300
I
million
said
and
one
he
of
was
the
$400
reasons.
million
Cause what?
because they worth a lot together.
I thought he fell in love
No,
because he
sorry.
groomed her, but hey,
Sir, they weren't. They
Yes,
weren't
yes, he
before.
did, and he's like 48 years older than her. So yeah, you fall in love with
No,
her.
he did not say 48 years older than her.
Jay-Z's actually 54, right? Beyonce's 40. All right, we veered off topic.
Yeah, we don't need them shutting them down. They got too much
Who's
power.
shady?
That's what
Who's shady here?
Sean, when you end up with a whole bunch of B's in your comments,
Right?
you get it to yourself.
Let me tell you something.
Shady Shawn.
Let me tell you something. I'm 45 years old,
Shady Shawn.
and for anybody who's gonna talk to me about some Beyonce, they need to go back to grade school. I do not care about your
He's the honey
fandom.
right now.
Right.
I
He
don't
is the honey
care.
right now.
And the B's are gonna come.
They
What they gonna do? What they gonna do? Not like the album? Because they don't. I'm done. Let me get off this thing. Y'all get out of here. This is a rough cut. I'll be on IG. Thank y'all for coming on the show. I'll be on IG doing a little overtime. If anybody want to talk, y'all welcome to talk with me. I'm also going to fill up this with something alcoholic. Kojo, brother, when you come to the States?
I'm thinking about trying to come in October, so I'm trying to sort that out. So October, the first week of October, hopefully for 2 weeks. So ATL, DC, and NY potentially.
Yes, come
Miami
through.
will not be seeing me.
Look at that tour. That's a hell of a tour. Hit
I
us
should
up.
come through, yeah, Shade NThe City, yeah.
Hey, you saw my cast got together Sunday, so you should get up.
All right.
We'll love you.
You already know.
Shade Girls, we gotta do brunch again.
Yes, we do. That was
Nah, they were too
brunch
smiley because of that. Sean, what did you provide?
For dinner.
It was a nice brunch. It was a nice brunch.
It must have been because they was like, yes, it was.
It was good.
Listen, it was brunch, and we literally left like
we left at like 6, 7 later than that.
Way later.
No, we shut it down. We shut it down.
Yeah,
yeah,
we shut it down.
Yeah, they were like kicking us out. We stayed through dinner service and everything.
Shawn, she don't even remember. I don't know why she's answering anything. She doesn't remember.
Yeah, I think I got a picture of her
on the ground. On the ground, Shawn, because I got it too.
There's like a chalk outline still on 7th Street Southwest of her just like this. I do have that picture. I'll send it to y'all.
I got a whole video of her on the ground laughing like she is right now.
Let me go because it's 2 a.m. now in UK time. I'm gonna let this man go and get some sleep because he don't get sleep much.
Kojo. I'm so sorry.
Thank you.
But thank you for staying up.
It's so good, man. It's love, man. You know, I appreciate you guys' energy as well. So it's much love, man. You know what I mean? Plus, you're two beautiful women, so I can't complain.
Oh, thank you.
You know, we ain't
No
Courtney.
worries.
We ain't Courtney and that.
Or who's the other chick?
Well, no, he said he.
I mean, listen, you may not be Courtney, but you are two beautiful women.
Oh, thank you.
You know what I'm saying? What you should be doing is adding me
so
on
much
IG.
I could probably say right now, but I ain't
What'd you
saying
say? Well, I already added you on IG.
Did you send me a message?
No, you followed us. You're following us.
That's what I'm saying, but you need to send me a message.
Oh, okay. You want me to slide in your DMs?
You don't even need to slide. Just open the door, baby.
I'm trying to
Okay?
give you a personal therapy session.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Don't even slide. Open the door. Walk in. You know what I mean?
Walk in the door. Okay.
Yeah, we'll have a seat ready for you. Don't worry about that, baby.
Okay.
This thing's still on. What the hell? Y'all know I got a beer waiting on me right here, so I'm about to give you some. I'm ending the broadcast. Y'all keep talking. I'm about to click this button. Thanks, everybody.
Okay.
Talk to y'all next Shawn show.
All right. Well, we got reviews to record, so we're about to hit it. Kisses.
Copy that. Later.
All right. Love you
Appreciate
guys.
it.
Ooh.
Love, man.